Okay, I hope the rug video helped you. Now, you have to understand that every house has stuff on the wall. It could be anything, right from badminton rackets to family photos to artifacts to artwork done by the children. The walls are just displays. And if you want to really do a good decor, at least no matter what you put up, it's the client's taste. But hi, and before you move on, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so I can
Now,
come to you
no
with
home is
many more
complete
such
without a
videos.
piece of art.
Thanks a
or
lot
I
for
would say
watching.
many pieces of art. But there are plenty of do's and don'ts. There are a lot of mistakes that interior designers make in how to decide, how to mix and match, how to coordinate the paintings with each other, or how to actually place them, the location, the height. So all this, there are some subtle rules which will make or break a space. So basically, you need to understand those. So that is why I made this video for you. Rules, again, you may or may not follow. You can be a person who likes to break rules and experiment. Please go ahead. But for people who still feel like going the conventional way and want to know what is right and wrong, you all can follow these 7-8 rules that I'm talking about here. Now, first thing you have to remember is don't rush. Usually these things happen at the very end of the project, not, I would say, even before the handover or you're making the snack list, because the client has definitely got a lot of collection over the years, and even if they don't have, they are looking for the completed room to look like those Pinterest kind of images. You need the room to look beautiful. So without your adding the accessories or a few things on the wall, you're definitely not going to complete your decor. So you don't need to rush. You need to take your time to plan what kind of arrangement you're looking at. It's difficult to visualize it. So my best suggestion to you is whatever sizes you're thinking of, cut out pieces of paper and paste them on the wall to show the client or to discuss with the client, because it's not possible to hold up pieces and talk. So it's always good to, because this particular shape is actually, and the distance between the shape, what is the height of the frame, everything you will be able to understand if you do this kind of a paper setup. So cut it to the size, do this. It is a little time consuming, but it's worth the time. Then you need to grab the right equipment, because what is the weight of the frame, what is the anchoring behind the frame really matters. You don't want to have nails all over the place or place the nails in the wrong location, or have too big a hole and a small nail going into it. These goof ups and mistakes do happen. So you have to take care of all these things, get the right equipment, understand the size of the nails, understand whether you need any kind of support below the frames. Are the frames heavy? What is the material you're looking at? So think of all those things. Also, you don't want holes to be visible or make the wrong holes in the place, because this process usually happens at the end after the painting you're hanging the pictures. Next, measure. Measure everything properly. Allow for at least 4 inches between frames. So don't place the frames touching each other. You should have at least a 4 to 5 inches between the frames, so that each piece of art that you're putting, each painting that you're looking at, draws attention. It's not so overcrowded, they're just mixing into each other. Every painting or every piece of frame needs the person to be attracted towards. That is one thing you need to take care. Then when hanging pictures at eye level, you have to hang pictures at eye level basically. See that you're able to do that looking at what distance are you going to. So suppose there's a sofa in front, definitely your distance from the wall is going to increase. So how close you are to the wall, how far away you are from the wall. Then your average position is say about 57 to 60 inches from the floor. Anything below that, you're not able to, it's not going to be at eye level, you're not going to be able to appreciate the painting. At the same time, if there's a sofa or some table in front of it and there are some artifacts on the table, they will also be hiding the frame, or the head of the person who's sitting may hide the frame. So see that you're positioning the frame properly. Divide the height of the frame by 2. From that number, now there's a formula for this. So I've just given down the formula. You can just note this down and you can use this as a standard rule so that you avoid any kind of goof ups. If you're not sure what it should be, just use this formula that I've given you. Now let's move on to the next do's and don'ts. Now there are many favorite pieces, or there's something that the client really likes a lot and there's something that goes just along with it. Don't be afraid to highlight or give importance to that piece that you want, because that is what is going to attract your guests first attention, that favorite piece, and then the remaining things are just going to be there for scale and proportion, so where the eye can just move along. So do that. Then vary the variety of frame styles. Not necessary that you have to have the same frame style, same size. You can always do a lot of mix and match, because it has to look not like it has to also bring out the flavor of the people living in the house. It need not be that perfect as if everything has just been decided and done. You know what I mean? There has to be that personal touch of the client in it. So don't be afraid to experiment. The size of the frame, you have to be careful, because you don't want to, cut down on the size of the frame. If the work of art is wider, then you can have just a single piece on the wall. You don't have to do many, but that piece needs to get importance. Or if you're having some end tables, or you're having a console in maybe the passage area, so how the arrangement is going to be on the wall needs to be decided. Don't think that only smaller pieces look better. Even a big piece of art, a single big piece of art also goes well. Then you have to consider the lights or the chandeliers that are going to be coming in the space. Now, if you have a hanging chandelier and it is overlapping in the line of vision of the frames and cutting it out, it really doesn't make sense. So your arrangement should be such that that particular element is not killing the decor that you're doing on the wall. Take that into consideration, and use this kind of art, or put up something in every area. Don't leave out a lot of blank spaces, because you are already creating a language when the person enters your home. And when he or she is moving around the home, they're expecting to see stuff on the wall now, because they associate that with your style. So don't be afraid to hang things, even in bathrooms, even in over basin areas, like besides the mirror also, maybe at the back of the mirror, you can have something nice, or in the bathroom areas also, you can have something put up. So your love for art, or it should be visible everywhere in the house, not just in a specific. It should not be like, just the makeup is in the living room. It should be like a flow of the language throughout the decor. So keep that in mind. But also avoid overcrowding. You don't want everything, like you don't want that feeling ki sab kuch tha isliye dal diya types, You have to be well thought in what you want exactly in this space. So be very judicious when you're choosing your art also. What needs to come in the living room, what needs to come in the dining area, what needs to come in the bedrooms. You have to give a little thought to that. It cannot be just, you have it and you put it up. So let's see at some tips, especially for placements. Or what are the distances from the floor, what are the distances, or the placement if you're looking at the whole wall. Now, if you look at this particular picture, there is a very big sofa lengthwise, and in the corner there are just two more accessories. So if you're looking at the visual, this entire wall becomes the frame for the picture. So obviously people are going to associate with some kind of a center. And if your sofa is so huge, you're obviously expecting that the painting has to be, or whatever display has to be, centered to the sofa location. So don't do this. This is really out of place. Go in for this. Again, if you have a console, if you have some kind of a table over which you are having some artifacts or stuff, then you need to understand the distance. So this becomes too high, too above the eye level. You need to pull it down. So this distance can be approximately 8 to 12 inches only from whatever you're having on the table. This gives a more complete look. This really looks off. There are some standard dimensions that you can follow. You will get all these dimensions even in your standard books. But in case you just want to understand, the center of the frame should be at least 56 inches, which is your normal eye level if it's a single frame. If it's a double frame, the space between the two frames that you have left, that center should be 56. Then if you're having a couch or a big seating area, the width of the couch, that the frame should cover 2/3 at least of the width of the couch. Don't let the frame extend more on either sides. So whatever decor you're putting should really be highlighting the couch space also. And don't touch it nor take it very high. Approximately 4 to 8 inches between the top of your seat and the bottom of the frame is an ideal dimension. So you can follow some of these tips when you're designing. Next, if you're looking at the whole wall and you're wanting a number of things on the wall, then you have to also think of the size and the shape. So there are some common rules, like this one you can see out here. What is the space between the frames? What is the picture width? What is the desired height? So you can see out here, whatever you're doing, or whichever shape and size you're taking, the centers of those frames are matching. Because obviously you cannot match the top or the bottom. The shapes are different, the sizes are different. So that arrangement has to be kept in mind. Again, use those paper pieces that I'm telling you, cut them out, put them on the wall, use paper tapes so that the paint or whatever finish on the wall doesn't come out. Paper tapes don't stick to, they're very light, so the sticking quality is not that great, so they easily come out without taking out the paint or the plaster. Do that before you really arrange anything. So these are some common arrangements you can follow. Again, if you don't want to experiment, you want to go with what is conventional, you can take this into consideration and go ahead. So your living room looks done, not undone. So remember, a picture is worth 1,000 words. You need to complete the space. You need to give people something to look at between conversations, between waiting time, or when you've gone in to get a glass of water, or you've gone in to get a cup of coffee. You want your guests to be engaged with something in the living room. So these accessories, these paintings on the walls, these artwork, the family photographs, they are also conversation starters. They are things that will ignite the curiosity of your guest. So you need to do that. You cannot have something that is dead. The space shouldn't be dead at any time. So I hope this model of lifestyle accessories is really putting in some insights on what you can do and what you shouldn't do.
Okay, I hope this little knowledge about how, where, when you should be putting up frames and pictures and paintings helps. I'm sure the next time you walk into somebody's house, you'll just be scanning the walls, seeing if they're put right. Maybe you might even, give in a comment or an advice since you have this knowledge now. So, but do up those walls, It really makes a statement and you'll enjoy doing them. So,
hi, and before you move on, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so I can come to you with many more such videos. Thanks a lot for watching.